Good evening, you beautiful souls, and welcome to another Satsang, the continuation of our Summer Satsang series. And can you believe that it's almost the end of August? I can't. But as usual, with our next Sunday here in Seattle, we are hosting the third Community Through Unity. So if you want to attend, it's a free pop up event. Come by Green Lake Park over at the East Playfield. And we're going to have yoga starting off at 1 p.m. I'm leading a guided meditation at 2, and it's going to be live music and a cookout at 3. So I hope to see you there. Now, just go ahead and take a nice deep breath in. And you're going to exhale all that tension from the day away. We're going to take 2 more breaths just like that, just to get ready for this meditation. And as we exhale, we simply let go of the past, of the future worries and angst. And with our last breath, we allow ourselves to root and anchor ourselves in the now. And as we begin with a simple tap of the bell, we'll allow ourselves to chant out that powerful and mighty Om. So take a nice deep breath in, and with your exhale, let out that divine chord. And as we simply observe the body, we notice all sensation dropping away. And again, take another deep breath. Allowing the emotions to settle, shifting your attention to the present moment, the breath, the sounds, and our final breath. As the mind drops, we ascend into the stillness and quiet of our being, the peace, the calm. And with our final tap of the bell, we allow ourselves to simply shift our attention to the sound coming and going, as all sensations and temporary happenings do naturally. For it's here in the stillness, the quiet, the calm, we can sense the aroma of our pure being, that love, the tranquility and harmony that is natural to us, like when we were children. It's as we grow and enter these teenage states of puberty and hormones that we become attached to the body. For at first we grow as children in the pureness, the light, and love of our creative source, our true selves, you can say. But as children with our curious minds, we are empty sponges, dry sponges soaking up all around us. And that moment of childhood ends truly when we end that curiosity and enter in that teenage state, that rebellious nature, that absolute knowing of certainty. And whether it be the hormones or the bodily changes or the arrogance of our youth, many become trapped in this state, never truly growing outside of these teenage years from the emotional or the mental standpoint. Here we take our own rite of passage as we all once did, and as our ancestors did in the ages of old, to transcend the normalcy, to go beyond what we currently know and think is truth, and dive deep into the oceans of the unknown. Here we let go within ourselves to rest, to observe what comes and goes naturally as we partake in this digestion for the soul, also known as meditation. Take a loving deep breath, filling your lungs up as much as they can with air. And do not focus on an exhale, simply allow the body to rest filled with air. And let the process of exhalation happen and arise naturally. Shift your attention towards the observer, towards the sense of me. And simply put, allow the separation to build. Allow yourself to not feel so intimately in control of the body and simply allow it to operate naturally on its own as it already does. And that is the beauty of this form, is that it protects us and takes care of us in life without us always having to breathe in and out consciously, without us having to focus on the heartbeat. For here in this state of observation, we detach ourselves from that teenage intimacy that is established, believing ourselves to be solely this form, yet knowing always that we are something more. In truth, it's that expansive and immense and truly infinite nature of your pure self that becomes hijacked by the body and mind into that sense of external need, into those desires of more and want. Yet nothing is given power from an external source, for everything derives and originates within you. To think of yourself like a star embodied is the most accurate representation of our true power. For we are each gods and goddesses in embryo, learning and growing to utilize our tools of manifestation and creation. But it is the misguided nature of our society that abused these tools. And as we learn from the environment around us and soak up those conditionings and perceived truths and knowings, many of us have abused our powers of manifestation. It's here we must recognize that there is nothing outside of you that can influence you. In truth, you allow all external things to disturb you. And as we have all experienced, we give birth and life to the emotions and the thought forms that disturb us when we are alone. Take a loving deep breath again, filling your lungs up with air and life and vitality. Expand the diaphragm and fill up the lungs as much as you can. And again, do not focus on the exhalation, simply let the body take control. What is it you observe? Even here, we must recognize that everything is seen from that perspective of I am, from your own sense of me. In truth, we do not experience without our eyes on the scenes. As the saying goes, the play cannot proceed without the audience in the seats. And it is you, that divine witness, that silent watcher and observer that must be present for life to be felt, for sound to be heard, and for all experience to be witnessed. And in truth, when we age and leave our state of pureness in childhood, it is because we are ignorant and blind to the truth that we overlook. And this journey of life, this challenge and opportunity to really ascend and grow and awaken to our truth within us, is a path each of us must take out of childhood and in truth into the wilderness that is the person. Here we can travel and journey throughout our entire lifetime and more, and never truly leave the forest, getting trapped in experiences, desires, aggressions, resentments, fear, and delusion. In these moments, we allow ourselves to clear the space in the ground of being, as you are lovingly invited to let down these arms of separation, to let go of what is previously known and enter into the beautiful realm of your pureness. What happens when we let go of our assumptions? What happens when we don't expect? What happens when we are simply open and free? This is the potential of the human experience, as it was when we were children, allowing life to simply be without judgment. But as mentioned before, when we are children, we are not knowledgeable. And in truth, it's each of our journeys to seek. The beauty of this life is that it's a process of transformation and unfoldment. We each do it every moment, every day, and on the biological level, our cells replenish themselves and recycle throughout the years. We're always in this process of growing, learning, understanding, and letting go. It's this dual motion of creation and destruction which truly defines this manifested plane. But what happens when we apply these laws internally to ourselves and our understanding of ourselves? Look at your own experiences. We simply grow. And like a child accomplishing their first steps, it is that deep satisfaction of discovery that we each innately desire. So allow yourself to sever all threads of attachment and simply be as you are. That pure divine light, that beautiful soul, that eternal being that knows no time or form. For throughout our life, we can transform each moment into a timeless and beautiful experience, transcending all time. In dream, we leave the space and form of our own body and enter into a fantastical world. For it's here we recognize in the subtleties of our experience that life is far more than what anyone currently understands and knows. And anything that we do know is but a few grains of sand upon an infinite beach that in truth knows no end. Take your life and take your journey of inner exploration and looking into your own hands and awaken to your own liberation. For we are the only ones that can free ourselves from the trap in which we created internally. Again, take a loving, deep breath, filling the lungs and body up with the energy of the universe around you, as you are one with this energy, filling each and every cell up with these vital forces, and simply resting, allowing the body to take over and exhale as it needs to. For it's here we transcend the past and enter into the new of the now. Each unfolding moment slipping off like a card from an infinite deck. Each slice of now yields this opportunity to awaken to the truth within us, to awaken to the truth that is always radiating from us. It's observed through a calm, a peace, an effortless flow. For you are that light of love. It's here we awaken from all states of the past and cycles of old, to completely get off that ride and roller coaster of personhood. For it's here we seek out the conditionings of our past that plague our present moments, to enter into the new pleasant harmonies of calm, love, curiosity, courage, inclusiveness, and harmony. For again, we must remind ourselves that all disturbances arise from our attention and affection to them. All negative cycles continue because we invest ourselves in them. The simplest thing is to look away. Here we awaken to the love. For it's your own inner beauty and shine that never leaves you. We either cover it up or continue to nurture that flame. And here in this space provided, you can shine to your heart's content. For nothing exists outside of this moment. It's simply that game of me, myself, and I. And as we share this experience in simple inner looking together, we uplift one another on this journey of illumination. We undergo our own rite of passage, initiated by ourselves, ventured by ourselves, and ultimately renewed by ourselves with each moment. For the more we understand ourselves as this infinite and silent presence within, the sky in which all temporary clouds of thoughts, emotions, and sensations travel across, we come closer to the truth of ourselves. For we existed before we were given a name, but everything in our experience has attached itself to that identity. And as we anchored ourselves into this dense physical body in our teenage years, and some earlier, it's here we allow ourselves to let go and to dive deep into the unknown ocean of our own being. Life is a game of affection. to end the control of the thoughts and mind. Question them under this knowing of yourself. For you are love-based, and all that is known as separation, fear, assumption, and negativity is foreign to you. You can utilize it as a filter to transcend the patterns of old, to end the doubt and frustration and fear of our youthful selves. We can humble ourselves with the knowing that we are courageous, we are inclusive, we are curious creatures. To completely dissolve away the barriers and walls of exclusion and absolute knowing of our arrogant youth. That we can end all aspects of rebellion and otherness and come home to the oneness, for you are life itself. One can say you are the universe embodied. And through looking within, in this search of I am, the origin of who am I, you can awaken to the universe inside of you. And you shall, for it is your birthright. And you will, for the time is now. In this era of transformation, there is nothing more important than this search of inner looking. And the entire universe and cosmos are here to support you in this journey. For that is why we came here, to understand the eternal nature to our temporary experience. And through seeking for yourself, you will awaken to the source of all, the source of you, the source of me, and all loved ones who you've ever loved. Take one last loving deep breath, visualizing yourself breathing in a mist of white light. And in your inner imagination and inner gaze, envision your whole body illuminating with light. And as you exhale, you release all tension and negativity like smoke. Allowing the universe and the air around you to recycle that negative energy into positive. And again, you take 2 more deep breaths as you continue to shine and your body illuminates. Each cell vibrating and resonating, generating a powerful light. You again take 1 more final breath. And with your exhale, we chant out the divine Om to continue this illumination and self-search of truth and discover and awaken to the pureness within. Namaste. I bow to the divine within you. And if you have any questions, the floor is open, so feel free to drop those in the comments. And I didn't have a question in any of the social media platforms today. Ah, thank you. Well, I will say this to you: real recognizes real, and those that can see the beauty have already awakened to it within themselves. So thank you for joining. And I guess one thing that I'm inspired to really speak upon is something that came from a meditation session earlier in the week. And it's an incredibly powerful recognition that one of my students had. And they were trying to express it to a family member that the states of emotions and experiences that we witness really come from this dualistic point. You know, you're happy, you're sad, it's the love or the fear. And they were trying to express to them the harmonious state of being okay with either. And it turned into a conversation which they really couldn't, it broke down, I'll put it that way, because they didn't really understand how to really express it yet. Because again, they were in that Buddhahood, you know, the baby Buddha steps where you're still learning how to kind of get your spiritual feet and walk around and experience life. And they were coming on to the point of everything in life is kind of on that seesaw, that roller coaster of personhood. And what they were trying to express is that everything in our existence rests upon the fulcrum or that pivot point, if you want to think about it like that, of the I am, of the I, that meanness that we all experience. And when you no longer judge your life, when you no longer assume things and hold expectations, you're able to live freely. Life becomes more like a flowing river, and you're that rock that it just flows around, and you're open to experience whatever happens. And that's one of the coolest things to witness, not only as like a facilitator or teacher of this type of stuff, if you even want to call it that, because in just a few weeks, they've been able to kind of clarify so many things that have happened and heal themselves. And that's what it brings me so much joy, because we're each capable of this journey of self healing and recognition. And to understand and to really get to that point of being okay with whatever happens in life is such a beautiful thing, especially because this student's a little younger and most definitely grew up in that age of, like we all have in truth, that failure is such a bad thing, that not doing what others want you to do and going against the grain is such a bad thing. And to overcome that self judgment and persecution and really projection of others upon yourself is so cool. It just made me like a proud dad, you know? Um, and I think that's something I really want to highlight, is because each of us has this ability to let go. And it doesn't matter when it happens, it doesn't matter how much you've quote unquote failed. Because in truth, nothing's really real. Oh, thank you. Hey, well, as I always like to say, when we resist something, it's because it truly yields the most opportunity for growth and liberation. And your words mean a lot. That's really sweet of you. Peace and much love to you too. Um, but I guess that's something that really is a life thing, right? You know, the the ego kind of hijacks our experience when we're in our teenage years, and it becomes that antagonist to this great film we call, you know, our own adventure of life. But that's kind of the best thing about it, is that we're each our own hero, and our ego operates as that really survival instinct of the body that pushes us towards that growth. It's a necessary being, if you even want to call it that. It's honestly, it's just a thought. um, but it becomes something that can uplift you when you look at the signs of it. And one of the things that I always, again, bring it back to that point of resistance is, every time we have that tension, every time we feel something like, ooh, I don't really know about that, it's that sign to give it a shot, because it doesn't matter how it's going to play out. You're going to gain a powerful lesson from it that really loosens the grip of the ego over that consciousness of I am. So it's cool that you got the courage to go against the grain within your own heart and in truth follow your heart. I guess you could say go against the grain of the mind and then follow your heart. Yeah, that sounds a lot better. But yeah, I appreciate you. It's things like that, that just make me so happy because this is the light of love that each of us can shine upon the world and ourselves when we just do it. Meditation, simply resting, you don't have to just sit down and meditate. I know people that get into these flow states when they're running. Um, of course, I'm all about that response. Um, but it's just one of those things that, meditation is something that really is just whatever action it takes for us to get into that flow and that state of effortlessness and just letting go. So, you know, it's a beautiful thing. It's really the first thing that we should be taught when we're kids. But hey, we're all a bunch of grown kids as I see it. And I'm a big kid myself, so I can't complain. Um, Other than that, yeah, I just hope that kind of message gets across that, we're each kind of dancing throughout this life and we're on this roller coaster of duality. And when you really let down and let go of the expectations and judgments you have upon yourself, of others, and just dance your dance, life unfolds for you and it just puts you in these opportunities to really just level up and grow. And I like to teach it as a game theory kind of because I see and play life like a video game. And when we go through this process of recognizing and learning something and understanding it and then finally kind of healing or liberating or letting go of that recognition or that conditioning rather, it's like you open up a new map in life. And although we all live in the same plane in reality, you start to just see new things and different things that you've never seen before. You start to see those signs and those patterns that were apparently neon signs that you ignored, but it gives you this. I don't want to say it's like an advantage because I don't want to make it seem exclusive, but it gives you that guiding light that allows you just to kind of overcome things. It gives you that effortless flow to resolve situations, to pivot negative energies into something constructive. And truthfully, you're a lot more happy. I think like 95, the way I like to think about it is like 90 to 95% of the chaos in our life stems from self sabotage. And when we stop doing that, you recognize that life's always been on your side. We've just been shooting ourselves in the feet. Or however you move about the world. Shoot yourself in the hands or the wheels. I don't know. Sorry. But on that note, I guess I should wrap up. I'm getting silly. So I just want to say namaste again. I bow to the divine within you, and may that fruit of knowledge offer a seed. For within that seed, may your love, will, and intuition give life and nourishment. For a tree shall grow, and in its shade may you find peace, and offer peace to all who ask. I love you so much. Yeah. Yo. Oh, I guess I gotta close on that. Channel your energy. Super important. Super important, yo. It's the most important thing is to protect our own energy, especially right now. We're in a crazy time of transformation. And there's a lot of people that either take your energy or they kind of help you and pass energy back and forth and help you kind of transmute and transform yourself. So always be really, I guess you'd say, just be careful who you open up your heart to. And ultimately, when you continue to shine on your own shine, nothing phases you. So again, I love you guys so much. I'll see you Sunday. I believe we're going to be trying to do that satsang earlier. I think I'm going to try to start it off at like 7 a.m. I'll keep you posted. I'll set up the schedule so you'll get a reminder for it. But don't forget to hit that like, subscribe, and share. Share it to the world. Because if you think that this helped you and that this helped, you figure some things out, then let others know you don't know. One small act can inspire and transform the world. Oh, hey, you got to recognize you gave yourself the energy. I just like to give you the space, baby. So I love you guys. Peace.